So I attended the United Kingdom march yesterday. I wasn't going to go at first. Reason, it looked like it was going to rain. Also, I thought there would be like a lot of trouble for some reason. Thankfully, neither proved to be correct. The weather held out. It was cloudy, but it didn't rain. And the arrests were minuscule, not even worth talking about. 11, of which something like 2 drunk and discharged. A couple of people were arrested before they even turned up. There was nothing worth mentioning. The event itself, I think, was better organised than previous ones which I've attended. The screen, there was entertainment on rather than just long, lengthy videos about some documentary. So that's boosted up. I would say that, like when they had the Christian people on, they should have started it with the Lord's Prayer. Very easy thing to do. I think when you have these things, you need to have topics, songs, or whatever, which everybody knows. Don't introduce something which is new. The whole thing is to unite people. So you do the old classics, I think. Once again, the people who attended, from my age or Generation Z, and some young people in the crowds, I was impressed to see the number, apart from the Union Jacks and flag of St. George, there was such a variety of other flags. Some I didn't really recognise. I think there was like Isle of Wight or Isle of Man or something. Obviously, there's some Iranian flags. It would have been good to see a couple of Jamaican flags, actually. Overall, though, the people there were positive. Positive. I think I spotted a Walter Mitty who was wearing a SAS beret. Couldn't determine what regiment he was because the cap badge didn't actually look like it was SAS. I wasn't too sure. I'm short-sighted. But I don't think if you're in the SAS, you'll be going around parading yourself in sort of like a pseudo uniform with a SAS beret on. A lot of bootnecks present. Hats off to them. Didn't see many airborne, but there you go. But people in general, really good, decent folk. And it's such an insult that the Prime Minister sees fit to make some special announcement and then labelling, besmirching the name of the traditional supporters of Labour. It's the country is literally at war against its own citizens. It's bizarre. I don't think you could be in a silo so stark. And it doesn't take much. You need, it's now clear that absolute lies are being spread. It doesn't take a stretch of an imagination for actual Labour people or Conservatives to actually join those crowds and see for themselves exactly who the people are. I can't believe that they haven't done it. And if they have, then any further spouting about things like far right and stuff like that, you're just doing it as a lie and you're doing it to create division. It's sickening. It's absolutely sickening. I think that at certain points what should be done peacefully. I was very impressed about having that QR code on the screen and telling everybody to sort of go on it, download their address and details. Very clever use of technology. I think going forward, I'm very fed up of hearing about, we've got an enemy, we've got to increase our armed forces, etc. Because of Russia, for example. And, we have to ask ourselves, what is an invasion anyway? What is the threat of Russia? What would Russia do if they came into this country? What would they do? Would we have to celebrate Russian holidays? Would we be spoken to and have to learn Russian? Would leaflets being given out at political parties be in Russian? It's not about Russia, right? Russia, look on the map. Russia's not coming over here. I think that in terms of civil disobedience, you can do it compliantly. I'd start off first of all by boycotting joining the armed forces, and I mean it. I would, as a parent, I would encourage any person who's in the armed forces to come out to PVR to get out and put a block on joining the army for 5 years whilst Labour's in part, or at least whilst Labour's in Parliament, and at least until there's a radical reduction in the boats coming across the channel. I'd just like, no, we're not joining the armed forces. No, they can't make you. They can't make you. They've brought in subscription. That would be interesting. But yeah, proper, do not join the armed forces for 5 years until the boat's gone. That's it. Simple. Very, very simple. As I mentioned before, people should move their bank accounts to a set amount of bank accounts. So, this argument's sake, everyone join HSBC. Everyone move their accounts to HSBC. It's a very small thing to do. Yeah, have a preferred bank, and you join it. Why? Because if everybody's concentrated in one or a few banks, that gives you economic power. I mean, big economic power. Nowadays, with social media, you have what's known as swarm power. You can swarm. Yeah. So you all swarm in to a particular bank or two banks. And if they don't do things what you like, you just swarm out to somewhere else, and thereby you topple them. You topple those banks. Yeah. You need to get economic power. At the moment, we don't have any. And this is going beyond nationalism. This is about class and the way the structure is done. Yeah. And the way in which you defeat that structure is by swarm mentality. Yeah. Swarm mentality. Take your mortgages out only with a particular type of lenders, for example. Can you imagine how that would be? Only select to go with certain lenders. Let's say there's about 4 lenders who you go with, and you ignore the rest. Then swarm mentality says that you boycott payments. Whoa, that would be major. That would be major. So there's the elements in which you can put control onto the system without having to block a road, without calling for death of people. Yeah, but they'll be extremely effective. You need to think about swarm mentality and have it guided. That means that the people who are coming up with ideas and policies need to think it through very, very hard. The other elements, obviously, are, as was mentioned, get involved in politics. The last local election, for example, was only like 42% of the people. That means that 58% of the population couldn't be bothered to get out of bed. Couldn't be bothered to get out of bed to put a cross on something. So, what's the likelihood of you getting onto the barricades when it really hits the fan? It's unlikely. There needs to be proper analysis in your area as to who to vote for. There was a website which was run, I think, by a Muslim organisation, which analysed all the different constituencies and the weaknesses of those constituencies based on politicians who had voted against what they perceived to be their interests and agenda, and they were targeting them. Yeah, it was as forensic as that. It was very impressive, the website. And this is what needs to be done here for Britain and British people. Yeah, same sort of mentality. You need to get strategic. You need to use swarm mentality. This is what's going on at the moment with individual candidates and within the Green Party. You need to be waking up from the slumber. Really waking up from the slumber. That's it. That's all I'm going to say for now. I think I've spoken enough. Great turnout yesterday. Behaviour, brilliant. Media haven't got much to say, have they? Now there's no trouble. Since there wasn't any trouble, they've just gone on about the Labour leadership. Just ignore the whole thing. Just ignore. But we're not going to get ignored because we're going to be active. Danny Tomo still doing his Operation Overlord 2, which is good. and there needs to be focus and resources going into that too. But for the time being, there should be a boycott of joining the military. Should be a people should be leaving it. Boycott for 5 years. It's come out. Just come out. Yeah, that will make people wake up. That's it. That's me. Over and out.